$300,000. The account her mother spent 31 years building for her. Gone. 3 days before closing. The loan officer called at 8:47 in the morning. She was already dressed. She had already made coffee. She had already imagined walking through the front door of the house that afternoon for the first time as its owner. He said the wire confirmation had come back declined. The funds weren't there. She told him that wasn't possible. She had checked the account 6 days ago. $300,000, verified. She opened the banking app while he was still on the phone. 0. The last transaction was a wire transfer. Initiated 3 days ago. For exactly $300,000. She hadn't initiated it. Sloane's mother had opened the account when Sloane was 22 years old. She had just started her first real job, entry level, modest salary, the kind of position where you feel rich for the first time in your life and then realize rent exists. Her mother sat down with her at the kitchen table with a bank statement and explained, very carefully, the difference between the money you spend and the money you protect. She opened the account that weekend. Both of their names on it. Her mother made the first deposit, $400. For the next 27 years, Sloane's mother added to it whenever she could. Birthdays. Christmases. The year she worked double shifts at the hospital. The year Sloane offered to take money out and her mother refused every time. She called it Sloane's floor, the thing underneath her no matter what happened. Her mother died 18 months ago. The account passed to Sloane. The balance at the time of transfer, $281,000. By the time Sloane found the house, with 4 more years of her own deposits, it had grown to $300,000. Her mother had added Patricia to the account the year after the wedding. A formality, she had said. For emergencies. It had never been changed. The first time Patricia mentioned the account, Sloane almost didn't register it. It was 14 months ago, at a Sunday dinner. Her husband Marcus had mentioned offhandedly that they were looking at houses. Patricia had asked how they planned to finance it. Marcus said they had savings. Patricia asked how much. Marcus looked at Sloane. Sloane said enough. Patricia smiled. Changed the subject. It didn't feel like anything. The second time was 6 months later. Sloane had just made an offer on a house, not the one they eventually found, a different one, a near miss that fell through over inspection. Patricia called Marcus that night. Sloane was in the other room but could hear parts of the conversation. She heard Patricia say, "How much is in that account exactly?" She heard Marcus say he wasn't sure. She heard Patricia say, "Sloane's mother left her well taken care of." "That's nice." Sloane walked into the room. The conversation ended. She told herself it meant nothing. The third time, Sloane found a bank notification she hadn't opened. A login alert. An account access from a device she didn't recognize. 3 months ago, on a Tuesday. She checked the alert, dismissed it, and assumed it was a system glitch. She found out later it was Patricia's phone. Patricia had accessed the account 23 times over 14 months. She had never touched the money. She had watched it. She had waited. The closing date was set on a Thursday. Patricia found out that weekend. Marcus had told her, proud, certain, ready. 3 days before closing, at 11:14 in the morning, Patricia logged in and initiated a wire transfer. $300,000. To an account in her name. The bank processed it in 4 hours. Sloane was still in the parking lot of the grocery store when she saw the zero. She had pulled up the app to transfer $20 for a parking meter. She sat in the car with her phone in both hands and did not move for a long time. The engine was still running. She hadn't noticed. Her first call was to the bank. The automated system put her on hold. She listened to the hold music for 4 minutes and 12 seconds, she knows because she watched the timer on her phone, and then she hung up. There was nothing to say to a phone tree. There was nothing the phone tree could do. She called her attorney instead. Before she dialed, she went back into the account and checked the wire timestamp, 11:14 a.m. on a Tuesday. Then she opened her call log. Marcus had called her at 11:17 a.m. that same morning, 3 minutes after the wire was initiated. She remembered the call. He had asked what she wanted for dinner. She had said she didn't care. They had talked for 90 seconds about nothing. She did not know, sitting in that parking lot, whether Marcus had known what his mother had just done. She did not know whether the call was guilt, or coincidence, or something else entirely. She still doesn't. That uncertainty has not left her. She has learned to carry it. She drove home. She did not tell Marcus what she had found. Not yet. She did not cry when she saw the zero. She sat at the kitchen table, the same kind of table her mother had sat at with her 31 years ago, and she went through her options. She had the login alerts. She had the access history. She had the wire confirmation with the receiving account information. She had the transfer timestamp. That night she printed everything, 41 pages, and organized it in chronological order. The first alert was dated 14 months back. The last entry was the wire. She put a paper clip on each section and wrote the date on every tab. She called an attorney at 9:03 the next morning. She brought everything she had. He read through it. He said, 23 logins over 14 months. She knew the exact balance. She waited for the closing date. That's not impulsive. That's premeditated financial fraud. He asked how quickly Sloane needed the money back. She told him she had a closing in 3 days. He said, let's file this morning. The emergency motion was submitted at 1:15 p.m. By 4:30 p.m., a judge had signed a temporary freeze on Patricia's accounts. The wire had not yet cleared into Patricia's personal account, it was still in a holding transfer. The freeze caught it. Every dollar. At 8:22 the following morning, the funds were confirmed restored to Sloane's account. Closing happened on the original date. 2 days later than the emergency, 1 day after the freeze. The seller agreed to a 48-hour extension. The loan officer had seen situations like this before. He had never seen the money come back this fast. The civil judgment came 11 weeks after closing. $300,000 in restored funds, already returned. $47,000 in additional damages, legal fees, carrying costs for the extension, and documented emotional distress. Patricia was required to attend a financial accountability program as a condition of avoiding criminal charges. The criminal referral had been filed regardless. The district attorney reviewed it. The charges that followed: 1 count of unauthorized electronic funds transfer, 1 count of fraud by wire. Both felonies. Marcus had not spoken to his mother since the morning Sloane showed him the access logs. He had seen the 23 logins. He had seen the timestamp of the wire, initiated at 11:14 a.m. on a Tuesday, the same morning he had called his mother to tell her how excited he was about the closing. He had hung up that call and driven to his mother's house. Sloane didn't know what was said. He came home that night and told her. She knew exactly what she was doing. And I'm sorry it took me this long to see who she is. The guest room in the new house has a window that looks out over the backyard. They painted it the color Sloane's mother would have chosen. She had a specific shade of green she used in every house she ever lived in. Patricia has not been invited to see it. The year Sloane's mother worked the most double shifts at the hospital, she deposited $4,200 into the account in 2 installments. She wrote for Sloane's future in the memo line on both of them. Sloane found those deposit slips in her mother's papers after she died, tucked inside a manila folder with Sloane's name on the tab. She had not known until then that her mother had written anything in those memo lines at all. The first morning Sloane woke up in the new house, she stood in the doorway of the green room for a long time. Her mother had never seen the house. She had never known it would exist. But the floor she built held long enough for her daughter to get here. Your family builds things for you. Sometimes other people try to take them. But a foundation built with that much intention is harder to destroy than it looks. The floor Sloane's mother built for her held. Even when someone tried to take it. If this story stayed with you, subscribe. We share stories like this every week. And if someone has ever tried to take something your family built for you, tell us in the comments. You are not alone.